So the IMF has said recently that they expect Canada to have the second highest growth rate for 2023, just behind the United States, and the second highest growth rate in 2024. And I believe we have a chart that shows this. In 2024, I think they anticipate Spain to be a little bit higher than us. But you can clearly see that growth is starting to slow. So the fact that we're the second highest out of the G7 countries, I should say, is good, but our growth is still slowing. GDP, our growth is still slowing. We are somewhere around, let's say, for the first quarter of this year, in that 2% rate. But if we extrapolate that, and if the IMF is saying a 1.5% rate for 2023, that means the rest of this year will either be flat or maybe even negative. And that's why the talk about a recession has come about, because the start of the year has looked really good. And if by the end of the year, we're only growing by 1.5%, that means that quarters 2, 3, and 4 must be less than the 2.5% rate that we believe we're going at right now. So keep in mind as we move forward that the slowdown is happening. It's going to happen. It is already happening. Bank of Canada has told us to expect it. Federal Reserve in the US recently has said that you could see a mild recession in the US. Again, they believe that inflation is more important. The fight against inflation is more important. That if we do see a mild recession in the US, or if there's a mild recession in Canada, yes, that's not good, but we can handle it versus keeping inflation as high as it's been. So even though we're looking at GDP growth in this chart as second best in G7, all the G7 nations, understand the main point is growth is slowing. And you don't have to look far. All you got to do is listen to some of these CEOs talk about their businesses, whether it's in tech or bank, or whether it's in retail, or whether it's in anywhere, pharma, and businesses are definitely slowing. So good news, second highest in the G7, but not so good news, understanding that our growth rate will slow for the remainder of this year.